Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. It's another great day to discuss other people's excellence. I'm the unforgettable one himself, Mr. Brett Carroll, and I'm hired by Progroff to give you Nets propaganda. Now, this is a Nets propaganda pod, but we are not going to be discussing the Nets. We are talking about the good teams that actually made the play-in the playoffs. So that's what this is, our NBA play-in and playoffs preview, as you can see on the screen. No Charles today. It was a quick turnaround. Obviously the plan starts Tuesday, so we were really at the mercy of the schedule gods, and the schedule gods were not kind to us. So I'll be doing it solo this week, but that's okay. We're gonna go through this. I'm excited. I'm really actually very excited about these playoffs. I think we're gonna see. I think it's gonna be a good year. So let's get into it. All right, the West playoffs are looking crazy right now. The one seeded Thunder might have to face either the Lakers or the Warriors in the first round. That's incredible. The Suns and T-Wolves will be an explosive series between the elder statesmen and the young Wolves. The biggest matchup in the Western Conference in the first round, and maybe even the entire playoffs in the first round, has to be Mavs and Clippers. These are two teams that have been dark horses all year to come out the West. These are two teams that maybe besides the Suns are like the three teams that you said, okay, if it's not the Nuggets, then who? And two of them are facing each other in the first round. So that's crazy. The winner of this series, to me, as long as they're healthy, should cakewalk to the conference finals and maybe even the finals. That this is, this is we're getting a Western Conference Finals preview in the first round without question. I'm excited about this series. Um, and yeah, like this is the series I can't wait to see the most. The first round alone will showcase a lot of matchups that could be Western Conference Finals teams, and the fans are winning with the sheer number of good teams in the conference. The West has been amazing this year. And again, it's kind of been like a changing of the guard. A lot of the younger teams are at the top. So a lot of the veteran teams are kind of in the middle and at the bottom. And again, it's going to become make some interesting matchups. Seeing these younger teams face these veterans, can they overcome the experience factor or inexperience factor to move on in the playoffs? That's always fun to watch in the first round, and they'll have home court advantage, so they kind of have the advantage that way. But yeah, the West is gonna be fun. I can't wait to see it. Okay, the East has some interesting matchups too, especially with the 7-8 matchup between the Sixers and Heat. Whoever wins the game will go on to face the Knicks in the first round. And I can see one of those teams upsetting New York and moving on to make a long run. And again, yes, I'm a Nets fan, I'm a Knicks hater, but this is not even Knicks hate. I truly believe whoever the Knicks are facing, it's going to be a great matchup. I mean, the Heat beat the Knicks last year. There's no reason to think they can't do it again this year. And the Sixers, if you're telling me Joel Embiid is healthy and the way they're playing right now, we know they're not an eighth seed. You know what I mean? We know they're a top team in the Eastern Conference. So again, this is not even Knicks hate. This is just, they kind of got the unlucky draw the straw here because yeah, you got the two seed, which is great, but you're guaranteed to face again the two dark horses of the East, right? If we were to say before the season, if not the Celtics, then who? It would be Milwaukee, Miami, Philly. Like those are the teams. So yeah, it's going to be a crazy matchup for the Knicks, and again, that also will be a great series. The Warriors and Lakers, like as I mentioned before, are also primed to make a playoff run, depending on who they play. If they, well, I think the Warriors can't avoid Denver. Oh no, yes they can. The Warriors definitely will for sure avoid Denver. The Lakers might avoid Denver. So yeah, those either one of those teams can make a long run. So yeah, the plan has been great. I'll be the first to admit when they first announced it during the bubble season, I think I was skeptical of it. I thought it was stupid, but nah, man, the plan has been awesome. Like every year we've gotten some great playing games, and I do think it helps the regular season because more teams are in it longer, and so they have to keep fighting. You can't just, pack it in for those last couple weeks of the season. You have to make sure you stay in the playing tournament. So I like it. It's been great. And this year alone, I think again we got four teams off the top of my head that could make another finals run in the plan. And we saw it last year with the Heat, so it's possible. So I love it. I think this has been, a lot of people are clowning Adam Silver for the in season tournament, but I don't think he gets enough flowers for the playing. I think the playing has been phenomenal. Okay, so now let's talk about pressure. To me, there's not a single player, you know what I just said, player under more pressure than Damian Lillard. Um, they have been a disappointment all year, but they're not worried about the regular season. They're worried about making a playoff run. So they need to make a long playoff run. Giannis, we don't know if he's hurt or not. We do know he's not going to be 100%. Um, he's kind of gotten exposed a little bit this year. Like his lack of a quote unquote bag has been hurting them at times. Um, and him and Dame kind of haven't fit. The fit hasn't been great the way we thought it was going to be. Um, but Dame, this is your time, bro. I've been saying it. You triple, double, triple, quadrupled, quintupled down on the fact that you think you're the best, that you think you're better because you didn't run from the grind, that you stayed in Portland for so long that you didn't have to team up. And we all said, Dame, you can't win by yourself. You got to team up with somebody, and you didn't want to do it. And now you finally are teaming up with somebody, a player that some people think is the best in the league. I don't, but some people think he's the best in the league. He's definitely probably top five right now. You got to get it done. So weak Eastern Conference, there's no excuse. No matter what series you're in, maybe besides Boston, you probably have the two best players on the floor. So you got to step up, bro. This is going to be a huge season for his legacy, because again, he had a lot to say for the vast majority of his career about everybody else teaming up and doing what they had to do to win. You've now clicked up. You now are on the super team, quote unquote. You should be able to you should be able to go far. They're playing the Pacers in the first round. A lot of people, I would be shocked if they lose to the Pacers. I gotta be honest with you. I know the Pacers beat them in the regular season a lot. I know Giannis isn't 100%, but I would be shocked if they didn't get out the first round. But they're a three seed, which means they're not playing Boston if they get into the second round, which means they should be in the conference finals. If they don't make it to the conference finals, that is a huge disappointment. And Dame, we're gonna start looking at you a little bit differently, my brother. This is what you wanted. This is the time. Now, while I'm on this slide, because I didn't make a separate slide for this because I didn't think I needed to. Dame is the player with the most pressure. The Celtics are without question the team with the most pressure. Every year, if they don't win, we always talk about is it time to blow it up, separate Jalen Brown, Jason Tatum, can they win? Da 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 da. I always thought that conversation was stupid, to be honest. We forget how young these guys are. I know they have thick beards, so we think they're older, but like they're not. They're neither one of them have hit their prime yet. They can legit run that team back for another decade if they wanted to. But they are, we've kind of hindered their early success and used that against them because they have been in the conference finals way more times than they haven't been. I think they've only not made the conference finals like twice in their careers, which is crazy to think about. So we've kind of, expected them to break through and forgetting like these were young players still trying to figure it out, and they're still young players still trying to figure it out. They're a year or two away from their prime, so it is about that time where it's like, all right, are you going to break through? But still, if that was the conversation then, and then you turn around and have a 60 plus win season, by far the best record in the NBA. There's nobody else in the East that we think should even touch you. I will say, if they don't make it this year, it's going to be a problem. Now, again, realistically, if they coast through the Eastern Conference and lose in a hard fought series to Denver or something, I don't think anybody's going to say nothing. If they don't make it to the finals, it's going to be a problem. They got to make it to the finals. They have to make it to the finals. Um, if they struggle to get to the finals and then get washed by Denver or somebody else, it's going to be a problem. They should stroll right through the Eastern Conference. I don't care about none of that other stuff. They should stroll right through the Eastern Conference, make the finals, and then we'll see what they do in the finals. Again, if they lose to Denver in 6 games or something, 6 or 7 games, like okay, but yeah, that they should be making the finals. They're the one team in this entire playoff that has to make the finals. So they're the team with the most pressure. But this guy right here, Damian Lillard, Dame Time, he's the player with the most pressure. Okay, this year's MVP race is the closest in history, in my opinion. There's mad people that you can make a legit argument could win it. Um, my vote is for Luca, man. He's been amazing this year. Led the league in points, but second league in assists. They've been the best team in the league in the second half of the year. They've been playing defense. He's been playing better defense. I think he leads the league in steals or something like that. Like so he's been doing everything you ask of him as an MVP. Broke the franchise record for points in the season. Like he's been phenomenal. Um, I know a lot of people want to give it to Joker. I get it. You can give it to Joker every year, technically, but like I really think Luca has earned it. And I think we're doing this thing where the media is kind of holding it against him that he didn't fulfill their wishes early in his career. Remember, like there was like 3, 4, 5 years in a row early in his career where he was the preseason MVP, where everybody just thought he was going to win it. And he never, and even though he was great, he never lived up to that standard of being the MVP. And so now I feel like they hold that against him. Now that it's almost like they're reluctant to give it to him because the media does this thing like when you prove them wrong, they kind of hate you because it makes them look bad. Like I'll give you another example, like Anthony Davis. Anthony Davis was supposed to be Tim Duncan. He was supposed to be the greatest power forward of all time. And even though he's had a really great career and probably a Hall of Fame career, he obviously has not lived up to that type of hype to the point where even when he does play well, they kind of undermine it because it's almost like, nah, we hyped you up and you didn't live up to the hype, so we're not going to give you your flowers when you are playing well. And I feel like it's the same thing with Luca here. Like, if I feel like if anybody else had the type of season Luca had and the team had, it wouldn't even be a question. But the fact that he might not even be third in MVP voting right now is crazy. So, you know, I think it should be Luca. It might go to Joker. Um, and then that's another thing. Again, Luca, if he doesn't win it this year, it's almost like, well, he's never going to win it because what numbers is he going to have to put up in order to surpass what he's doing now for it to be MVP season? You know what I mean? Like, so I don't know. I think it should be Luca. We'll see. But it's going to be a tight race, and whoever wins it will deserve it. I can't sit here and say Joker doesn't deserve it. But my vote would go to Luca. Okay, finals prediction. I cheated a little bit. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. My first prediction is Nuggets versus Sixers. Um, right now, until somebody shows me they know they have a formula to beat the Nuggets, I'm not gonna sit there and vote against them. Um, they have a hard road to the finals, in my opinion, and so that could slow them down. But again, they're the 2 seed. They'll have home court advantage throughout most of it, if not all of the playoffs, and they're really dangerous at home. I think they probably will take it. And I got the Sixers, man. I really do think if Joel Embiid is healthy, I think the Sixers are a scary good team. Again, I think they could beat the Knicks, whoever they face in the second round. Especially if it's Milwaukee. I think they beat Milwaukee. And then it's a matter of can they get past Boston? You know what I mean? Like I really think the Sixers can win it. Could at least get to the finals. And then I think I would have the Nuggets winning that, but still. And then my other prediction is Mavs versus Celtics. Again, whoever comes out of that Clippers Mavs series, I think is a shoo-in at least to make the conference finals. And the way Dallas is playing, man, again, they have been the best team in basketball since the trade deadline, without question. They're doing it on both ends of the floor. If there is a team that could beat the Nuggets right now, it's Dallas. They're just playing that well on both sides of the floor. And again, the Nuggets have a harder path to me. So if let's say Kawhi isn't 100% and can't go in the playoffs, okay. If they beat the Clippers, I think they scrape whoever they play in the second round. if they're sitting there in the conference finals waiting for the Nuggets, and the Nuggets had to play the Lakers, who's been playing really good basketball, and the Suns in the second round, you know what I mean, like stuff like that. They could be tired, a little dinged up, a little, they might not be as well rested and as hungry as the Mavericks are, who are trying to win who are trying to win a championship. They've already kind of won one, so sometimes that sneaks into play too, right? How hungry are you to repeat? It's hard to repeat. Um, so I think the Mavs and the Celtics is, like I said, they are the favorites to get to the East. I don't want to disrespect them and say there's no way to get to the East and to to the finals. So my thing is, if I'm gonna have a second team out the West, I said let me go ahead and put a second team out the East, and that should be the Celtics. There's no other team that should realistically be in the position to come. Maybe the Heat again, but still. Either way, I would have the Nuggets winning, and I would have the Mavs winning. Again, these two teams to me are the best teams in basketball right now. Um, and yeah, I think they're gonna win. So that's it. That's my final prediction. We'll see. I'm really excited about these playing games and the playoffs. We'll see what happens, and it's gonna be awesome. So yeah, I'm none for Bro and never for Me. That's NEVA underscore number four BRETT underscore ME on all the socials. We are the underscore dope blog on Instagram and Threads, the dope blog, all one word on Twitter. And because you're watching this on YouTube, please like, share, and subscribe, and join us next time as we continue to give you next propaganda. The propaganda ain't good this year, but we're still gonna give it to you. Deuces.